Hello, 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 friends. How's everybody doing today? I pray you're doing well and clinging to Jesus. I have the most awesome thing to share with you today. It's like I've been praying over it all morning before I recorded this video, before I head off to work. And I just pray and I just know, how sometimes in the spirit, you just know that this is a breakthrough and it's going to be for a lot of you. It is something that was shared with me a while back and then was shared with me again yesterday. And it just clicked. It just brought so much joy and so much peace on top of everything the Lord had already been pouring out. And so I pray this blesses you. I pray that the Lord has led you to this video, whether you're one of the people that are, on this journey with me and have been tracking for a couple months, or the Lord just led you here randomly and you're weary and you're heavy laden and you're burdened and things aren't going like you thought in your life, like you expected them to. But I want us to just truly have a change of mind today. Really, like honestly, put down everything that's bothering you, everything that's bogging you down, everything that's troubling you, everything that's bringing anxiety and doubt and worry and depression and all those things that aren't of God. And seriously, listen today. God is taking us. He has taken us to Holland. Okay? He's taken us to Holland, and we thought we were going to go to Italy. We thought we were going to be in Italy forever. And I'm going to read a poem, okay? I'm going to read a poem and then we're going to talk about it and we're going to relate it to just a story or two in the Bible. But really, guys, this is key. Like, this is everything. And it really sums up just what's been going on in my heart and my mind and my spirit in the last, month and a half. It just explains everything. Okay, so without further ado, this is a poem written in 1987 by Emily Pearl Kingsley, okay? And it's called Welcome to Holland. You might have heard it, but let's just read it together. And what I want to do real quick is insert your current trial when I read the beginning of this, because Emily had a child that she ended up getting pregnant with and raising that had a disability. Okay, so whatever hardship, whatever unexpected hardship or hardships, plural, that you've been through in your life, insert it here where she talks about her child being born with a disability, okay? I'm often asked to describe the experience of raising a child with a disability, to try to help people who have not shared that unique experience to understand it, to imagine how it would feel. It's like this. When you're gonna have a baby, it's like planning a fabulous vacation trip to Italy. You buy a bunch of guidebooks and make your wonderful plans. The Colosseum, the Michelangelo David, the gondolas in Venice. You may learn some handy phrases in Italian. It's all very exciting. After months of eager anticipation, the day finally arrives. You pack your bags and off you go. Several hours later, the plane lands. The flight attendant comes in and says, "Welcome to Holland." Holland, you say? What do you mean Holland? I signed up for Italy. I'm supposed to be in Italy. All my life, I've dreamed of going to Italy. But there's been a change in the flight plan. They've landed in Holland, and there you must stay. The important thing is that they haven't taken you to a horrible, disgusting, filthy place full of pestilence, famine, and disease. It's just a different place. So you must go out and buy new guidebooks, and you must learn a whole new language. And you will meet a whole new group of people you would have never met. It's just a different place. It's slower paced than Italy, less flashy than Italy. But after you've been there for a while and you catch your breath and you look around, you begin to notice that Holland has windmills, and Holland has tulips. Holland even has Rembrandts. But everyone you know is busy coming and going from Italy. And they're all bragging about what a wonderful time they had there. And for the rest of your life, you'll say, yeah, that's where I was supposed to go. That's what I had planned. And the pain of that will never go away because the loss of that dream is a very significant loss. But if you spend your life mourning the fact that you didn't go to Italy, you may never be free to enjoy the very special, the very lovely things about Holland. And so while this poem is not, necessarily a Christian poem, as with everything, we can relate it to the Lord. And so I want to ask you, what in your life, and it might be multiple instances, it might be, and actually drawing from people I know personally and have talked to, which, by the way, I'm never going to quit saying this. Thank you guys for sharing your stories. Thank you for your emails. I think for however many comments I get on each video, it is an equal number of DMs and messages and emails, and they're so beautiful, and I'm trying to keep up with them, and you guys inspire me. You guys keep me going. You keep me grounded to the fact of, I don't care if this video reaches 5 people and gets 14 views. Like, it's not about that. Who can it help? Who can the Lord help? As he's taken me to Holland. And so take whatever your instance is. A miscarriage, the loss of a job, a spouse walking out on you, the loss of a child who you raised up. You raised them up in Jesus. You told them about Jesus, and you thought you were going to end up in Italy. But now they don't believe. And now you're in Holland. What about that baby that you've been praying for? And you finally get pregnant, and then you have a miscarriage. You thought you were going to Italy, but your plane has landed in Holland. What about the spouse that you thought was going to be forever, that promised you everything, and then just decides to walk out? You thought you were going to go to Italy, but you've landed in Holland. And here's the thing, guys. Holland is beautiful. There are beautiful things in Holland. It's not Italy. And yes, Italy would have been nice. You would have loved Italy. You would have given your all in Italy. Italy was the number one plan. But God took you to Holland. And if we keep looking back at Italy and what could have been in Italy, we're not going to notice the tulips in Holland. If we keep looking back at what God has taken us out of and removed us from and said no to, whether that be permanently, maybe if you'd suffered a miscarriage, you're temporarily in Holland. Maybe if a spouse has walked out, maybe you, like I shared on my testimony or on my community wall the other day, my friend Brittany, maybe you were just in Holland for a short time to learn something. Maybe your prodigal children, you thought you were going to be in Italy, but you're in Holland right now. But if we keep looking back at Italy, we're not going to realize all the beautiful things that God has in store in Holland. The Israelites, when they were taken out of Egypt and were wandering in the desert, they begged to go back to Egypt. There were horrible things in Egypt. God had them in Holland, but they wanted to go to Italy. All they could think about is, let's just go back. Let's just look back. God doesn't want us to look back. We talked about it before. What happened with Lot's wife? She looked back. God was taking her to Holland and wanted her to look at all of the beautiful things that he had in store for her. But she looked back. She looked back at Sodom, and she didn't go anywhere. Literally, she turned into a pillar of salt. She didn't go anywhere. But Lot kept pressing forward and looking on to what was ahead. The Lord tells us to focus on things above, whatever is true, whatever is pure, whatever is good, whatever is holy. Focus on these things. Set your eyes on these things. The Lord is in Holland, guys. And we won't see the tulips. We won't see the blessings. We won't see the healing. We won't see the growth. We won't find the peace. We won't find the joy in our current circumstance because it's there. It's there. Let me tell you, it's here in Holland. But we're not going to find it, and we're not going to see it, and we're not going to enjoy it and be blessed by it if we keep looking back at Italy. No, it's not supposed to be this way. I was supposed to be in Italy. Clearly not, right? And that's hard. And you guys know, by this point, you know my heart. I'm not downplaying anything. But staying in that place of wishing that you were in Italy instead of realizing the tulips and the windmills and the beauty and the peace in Holland. The Lord can't show us fully his goodness because we won't look at it. I used to tell my salon teams back when I had, 20 or so salon teams that I was responsible for. Whatever you look for, you're going to find it. If you look for the good, you're going to find the good. If you look for the bad, you're going to find the bad. And it all goes back to that sound mind, being transformed by the renewing of our minds, letting things go, not looking back. And forgiveness and unforgiveness relates to our story today as well. Unforgiveness is Italy. Regret, bitterness, resentment, repaying evil for evil, taking our own vengeance, anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, paranoia, all that. That's in Italy. But what's in Holland is peace and joy. In Holland, I can read books and take walks and take a nap. I can stay up late and just simply read the Bible with someone. I can have late night conversations just saying who I am and how I feel in Holland. I can use my gifts in Holland because they're not even my gifts, they're his that he has given to me. I can bless others in Holland. He can bless others through me in Holland. I can forgive in Holland. I can plant my flowers in Holland. I can be who he created me to be and be surrounded by people, new and old, that find it beautiful. In Holland, me personally, my kids are having turnarounds in Holland. My family is having miracles left and right in Holland. The Lord is literally, and this isn't a bragging thing, it's all glory to him, pouring blessings upon blessings and healing upon healing and clarity upon clarity on me in Holland. And it's when I made that choice that I'm not looking back at Italy. My plane landed in Holland. And I would have loved to be in Italy. Italy's great, and it's still great for some people now, and it will be in the future, right? And the same with you. If you're going through a miscarriage or something, some people went to Italy and they had healthy babies. But that doesn't mean that Holland isn't beautiful, right? Some people who have successful businesses, I was talking to a brother last night, and I love you, Nathan, very much. Some people, you look around and their businesses have survived and thrived and are growing, and they're in Italy, but you're in Holland, and you're like, why am I in Holland? My business has crumbled, but God wants to bless you in Holland. And he's whispering to you with that still small voice in Holland. Talking to another brother, and Mark, maybe you can come on the channel and share the testimony that you shared last night. I know a lot of us have heard it and you've talked about it on your channel, but I would love maybe to have you on as a guest sometime and share. And really quickly, Brother Mark, he was going back and forth from Canada to the Philippines and doing missionary work. And then COVID hit and he's stuck in the Philippines and his visa's running out, but he can't go back to Canada because he would have to, take the thing. So he's like, what am I going to do? I'm supposed to be in Italy, but now I'm in Holland. But the story of what God did for him when he just embraced Holland is incredible. It's life-changing, not only for him, but for so many people that he's physically with and so many people that hear his story. And we have that opportunity too. And I want to do a future video on this, but I'll leave you with this. I was contemplating the parable of the talents and multiplying what Jesus has given us. And we tend to think of that in just money or physical possessions. But sometimes the gifts, and oftentimes the gifts that he's given us, are sufferings. Our sufferings are gifts. They are. And when we get that through our mind, when I process all my trauma and all my hurt and everything that's happened in my life, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, those are gifts. Those are beautiful gifts that now that I'm in Holland, you can use for many people. Sometimes the talents are trials. They're hurdles, they're obstacles in our lives, hardships. But do you know what? We need to be good stewards of those talents. The Lord placed on my heart a very simple phrase: be a steward of your suffering. Be a steward of my suffering, because it is a gift. And I am not going to bury it. I'm going to multiply it. I'm going to allow you to multiply it through me. Be a steward in your suffering. Be a steward in your trials. Be a steward in your obstacles. Be a steward in the fact that you thought you were going to Italy and your plane landed in Holland. And watch him work. I'm telling you in advance, watch him work. So embrace Holland with me. Look at the tulips. Look at the Rembrandts. Look at all the beautiful things that are right in front of us. Truly, what we find is going to be what we look for. And you never know what God's going to do tomorrow. You really don't. But we do know that he's able and he's capable and he's willing. And that's the God that he is, okay? I love you guys. I pray this blessed you. 5 minutes at a time, clinging to Jesus, looking at all the beautiful things in Holland, okay? All right, I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Love you. Bye-bye.